welcome to our presentation on big data in business. My name is Brent Maljars, and I'll be introducing you to this topic, after which I'll be joined by Robert Owen, Jane Scout, Myra Tasneem, and Riley Wilmot. We'll take a look at some of the benefits big data has for businesses, some of the handling difficulties that it comes with, and the way it is used in the banking and finance industry. Finally, we'll take a look at the way Netflix uses big data in their operations. But before we jump in, we need to talk about what big data actually is. It's a difficult term to define, and there's no official definition. Even the unofficial definitions have some ambiguity. But this is partly by design, as part of what defines big data is the way it overwhelms conventional database management systems. So as technology changes and these systems change, the definition of big data changes too. That being said, there are 5 V's that we can consider that describe big data. These are volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. Volume and velocity describe how big data is generated in massive amounts and at high speeds, providing up-to-date information constantly. Big data comes from a variety of sources and presents in a variety of non-tabular formats, such as text or picture data. Finally, it is highly accurate and reliable and can be used in extremely valuable ways. Big data comes with some handling difficulties in the form of privacy and security concerns, as well as just being able to store it. However, for businesses that use it properly, it can bring great benefits.
There are 8 benefits of using big data for businesses, starting off with better consumer insights, which allows companies and organizations to have knowledge on how each customer is using the website they have provided. The next benefit that is discussed is increased market intelligence, which is mainly showing the use of social media. This includes many consumers posting about the service they have or product they have paid for and discussing it. Following this is agile supply chain management, which indicates how big data is used to anticipate consumer behavior with what is happening around the world. The next benefit of big data in businesses is smarter recommendations and audience targeting, using all sorts of data to give recommendations on products or services to purchase based on previous searches and purchases. Following this is data-driven innovation, which is how data itself is the item that is sought after and can end up attracting all sorts of consumers. Following this is the benefit of diverse use cases for data sets, meaning that data systems can be used for more than their intended use. Next is the improved business operations benefit, which is the overall capability of a company to be more productive, incur fewer costs, and have more satisfied customers. Finally, there is the benefit of future-proofing data and analytics platforms, meaning that as time goes on, technology and the way data is stored and used are advancing and getting harder to learn about and use. By implementing big data system now, companies will have bigger advantage in the future as they learn as they grow instead of learning everything at once.
Hi, I'm going to talk about big data in Netflix. Netflix uses big data to personalize the experience of each user and their recommendations, predict the popularity of Netflix originals before giving the green light, customize marketing content like artwork, optimize production such as logistics, and improve overall business functions. On the next slide are examples of how big data is used. Here are 3 examples of big data at Netflix. One way the company uses big data is through the personalized recommendation engine. Netflix uses algorithms to predict the viewing behavior of users and makes recommendations arranged in rows, like trending now. Another example of Netflix using big data is through artwork. Artwork video analysis is used to personalize artwork for each user. This is then used to generate thumbnails for the user's interface, and it is also used for marketing and social media. The last example here is the projection model that is used by Netflix, and it predicts what shows will become popular. Shows like Queen's Gambit and Umbrella Academy were made because the projection model used by Netflix predicted that these shows would be popular. Thank you.
Data security and privacy. With the constant update in social media, the use of information is changing faster than the laws to protect people's privacy on the internet. Such information like IP address, search history, or profiles we make for email or social media can share more information that we didn't expect. There is also not that much transparency in how much data is stored, shared, and even sold. Social media users are often not aware that the platform isn't meant to appease them, but rather the advertisement clients. Since the new generation of newborns have started being on social media because of the normalization from family blogging, it is now normal to have kids' account on such apps like TikTok and Instagram. This was never possible before the internet to keep track of someone from the beginning of their life to the end of their life. But with this, it can be easier to track the person's behavior and direction on social media. I remember a case where a dad was upset that his daughter kept getting pregnancy pamphlets from Walmart, even though she's not pregnant, and it turned out she was actually pregnant. This is a huge privacy concern, especially for vulnerable people who may be too young, neurologically challenged, and people in desperation, like they're looking for money, or they might be really lonely. The data held by these companies can also be held as hostage, like the case of Snapchat, where the company didn't get sued from the information leaking, just the hacker. This is a concern because if the company wasn't holding on to this information, it would have never been leaked. So how much responsibility should Snapchat have for the leaks if fingerprints or bio-identification or faces and pictures and especially credit cards and social security information gets leaked? Another issue with such large amount of data is that it's hard to maintain and to watch the progress of that data. The solution for that is visual analytics. With visual analytics, you could have multiple variables and you could see the relation on the graph. You could also have simulations for human behavior in order to make predictions on consumer behavior and advertisement reaction. Noise cancellations can also be possible with that information. And with the data being in visual analytics, odd information can be spotted right away.
Big data in the banking and finance industry. Larger firms that have more data and the tools to analyze it benefit more than the other firms because of the potential the firm has for growth. One example of this is when Amazon purchased Whole Foods at a premium cost. The valuable data that came with the sale gave them more insights into the supply chain and logistics, customer data, and consumer grocery trends that wholesale had. It was implied by analysts that the premium paid by Amazon was worth it because they were able to implement their own home grocery delivery service, which would be very profitable and make the premium they paid worth it in the long run. Big data has also influenced how people monitor and access their accounts. In the past, you would have to call or visit the bank in person, but customers of banks and investment firms are now able to use the devices at their disposal to conduct their business. IT departments had to develop new online banking interfaces that were easy to use and aesthetically pleasing to the consumer. And they also had to ensure that all the banking information is up to date. So now everyone has their banking online through apps that they can do themselves. Big data has also made it so banks can protect firms from credit risk and protect the customers that they have from fraudulent users of their cards. Finance firms use customer data like daily transactions, account modifications, and credit history to determine the level of credit risk that the customer is to the firm. The higher the risk, the less the firm is willing to lend to them, or if larger financing is required, the customer may have to pay higher interest rates. Also, with more data being available to the finance firms, new predictive modeling is able to use historical data that's available of the customer and using their individual purchase trends, and they're able to detect if a purchase that someone made on their behalf is fraudulent. Through machine learning, firms are able to streamline the evaluation process for investment banking firms. NLP models are able to analyze corporate earning call transcripts and other written documents provided by the firm, and they're able to search for keywords and indicate the tone of the document. They categorize the topics that come up in the words that are used, which gives the analyst an idea of what's going on within the company and if the company is worth investing in. The model can determine if the company is in distress, like on the verge of bankruptcy or hostile takeover.